Hello and welcome to the latest from Hearts Standard. My name is Joel Sked, and on this lovely Monday morning, with the transfer window now officially opened, I thought I'd put a brief video on the current lay of the land, state of play, as you will, about Hearts transfer business, what's been done, what's still to be done, what could happen, etc., etc. But before we get into it, Hearts Standard is of course brought to you by S1 Jobs. If it's time to hand in your transfer request, then head over to s1jobs.com and upload your CV today. With thousands of jobs across Edinburgh and the surrounding area, you'll find the one at S1 Jobs. Start your search today. Now, as for today, as I mentioned, the transfer window has officially opened and it stays open until, I think, off the top of my head, 11 p.m. on Monday, this 1st of September. Hearts have been very proactive. I think only Livingston have had more deals confirmed. I think they've signed six players. Hearts announced their fifth signing of the summer on Sunday with the arrival of Claudio Braga on a 3-year deal. You can find everything you need to know about the Portuguese forwards on a video/podcast, depending on how you consume this. That was released on Sunday, as was Tom Irving's lowdown. Tom was on the video, but his lowdown written piece is on the site as well. So if you're a subscriber there, be sure to check that out, and that goes into a lot of detail about what Braga will bring to the team. He was a top target for Hearts. He's been someone that the team have looked at, or the club have looked at for a while. Derek McInnes liked what he saw, and he is looking forward to what Braga can bring to the Hearts attack, and kind of elevating it, providing different qualities, different all-round qualities. Tom talked about it. Doesn't think that Hearts have a similar player or haven't had a similar player to Braga in a long time. Now, of course, he joins Christian Borch-Grevink, Alexander Kiaridis, Ocean McEntee and Elton Kabangu as the newcomers this window, and they're officially Hearts players now. They will meet up with the team on, I think it's Friday, June 20th, when the Hearts return to pre-season for a week of training ahead of their warm weather training camp in Spain. As things stand, I'll flash up the squad list at the moment. As things stand, it looks like there's, so if I do my maths correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 20, 30. Sorry for that woeful audio from me counting from 1 to 30. But yeah, that's as things stand. 30 players in the Hearts squad, with the addition of those 5. As you can see, if you're watching the videos, put up the squad list, and there's plenty of depth. There's plenty of players in there. There's obviously a lot of players there that probably won't be part of the plans, and we'll move on. We'll talk about them shortly, but it will change more than that. There's the squad that obviously the Shankland, come out to talk about him, but Shankland's not included in there. His contract expired, as George Grant, Barry Mackay, others who have left, and then a lot of the squad remains. Some loan players coming back and being added to that. There is expected to, Stuart Finlay, is the next one expected to be through the door. The centre back has been again another kind of big target after McInnes took over and looked at what he wanted to add to the team in terms of the profile of players he wants to bring in. Again, just to emphasise, it wasn't a case of the Hearts ignoring Jamestown or anything. Every signing has to be approved by Jamestown. Stuart Finlay is obviously will have done that if he comes through the door and makes it signing number 6. I would say don't be surprised if the number of signings reaches double figures. That's obviously depending on a few factors in terms of potential players leaving and then targets becoming available. I think another winger is a big priority. Kiaridis has came through the door. There's obviously been a lot of speculation around the number of wingers. There is obviously the transfer saga of Islam Chesnikov. Daniel Arzani was someone of interest, but he's now moved to Ferencvaros. And there was the one thing Ferencvaros could offer Zidane that Hearts couldn't was Champions League or Champions League qualification football. So they are the Hungarian champions, and they'll go into the Champions path to get into the Champions League proper. So he was another one that's passed on. There's reports in Turkey that suggest that Ochena Ogundu, the Nigerian forward, is wanted or is close to joining Alanyaspor. There's the his name's escaped me, the Iraqi winger playing in Sweden. He's been linked, and there's a number of players. There's obviously it's clear Hearts want to add at least one more winger, especially someone who maybe stretches the game as a bit more of a traditional winger. So that's one of the key priorities between now and the end of the window, but it's something they'll look to get sorted sooner rather than later. Might be two wingers coming in, but certainly one is a priority. No, there's quite a bit of speculation on social media and kickback last night about Danny Armstrong. Checked into it. I don't believe Danny Armstrong is set to sign. He has, as he spoke about over the weekend, has a number of options from around the world, including Europe. So, and I was aware that Hearts were looking elsewhere to strengthen their wide positions. There could be another midfield player added. Again, I don't think it's a massive priority, but probably depends on different factors. There's still a lot of midfield players in there. McEntee's been added in, but might be someone who provides something different to what's already already in there. But again, there'd be, I would imagine, couple will move on just because of the sheer numbers in there. Then there is the striker situation. Lauren Shankland, his future remains unclear. Hearts have made him an offer. That offer is still on the table. While it's not as lucrative as the previous offer that was put to him, it would still make him, the highest paid player at the club. So that one is continuing to go on. But obviously it gets to a point where Hearts will need to move on and ensure that they're well stocked in the striker position. They've obviously brought in Cabangu and Braga, so that's not as if it's bare bones. But and we'll see how Vargas is used, and then there's James Wilson. But definitely feels like if there's at least one more that would be needed, perhaps probably two, especially if Shankland moves on. Then on the flip side, as mentioned, you just look at it on the screen now. The squad is big. There's a number of players in a number of different positions. Andrew McKinley, chief executive, spoke to the Evening News recently, and he said that McKinley shared the view that the squad is bloated. Last season, there was a couple of issues with the squad. There was probably too many players, but then the balance wasn't quite right in terms of there's maybe too many similar types or too many players in the one position, whereas obviously the big thing wasn't enough pace and there wasn't enough width and wide areas. So it's about trying to find that balance and get the number right. Outgoings are expected, and that's something that the club are, while working on bringing players in, they're also working on moving players on. And the squad travels to Spain, so I think it's a week on Friday or a week on Saturday for the warm weather training camp in the southeast, and that will perhaps give an indication as to who is and who isn't going to be part of Derek McInnes's plans going forward, because I don't expect him to take 30, 31, 32 players to Spain. It'll be probably be a smaller group than that, so there'll be a few potentially left behind. But you look at it, just kind of wrote about it in the article that's in the description. You look at, for example, Finlay, Pollock, and Denham. They were out on loan last season. They came back. They're still coming back from injury. They were I think they're both expected to be back at some point over the pre-season. Both of them need, again, age where they need to play football, and there'll be people ahead of them in the pecking order. You would think, just looking at the sheer numbers, then Macaulay Tate's in a similar situation where he had such a beneficial and positive loan at Livingston that he'll be, the next step is for him to play regularly in the Premiership, and that might be on loan. And understand that there's a couple of Premiership teams certainly keeping tabs on monitoring his situation because of how well he did at Livingston last season, so that'll be one to watch. Then if you bring in Stuart Finlay, for example, that takes the number of centre-backs or number of guys who can play centre-back to 9. And then there's 7 of those are kind of genuine centre-backs. I would expect Hearts to go with 4 or 5. So that leaves 2, maybe 3 moving on. You look at Lewis Nielsen. A lot of promise, but he's at an age he needs to play regular football. And Finlay comes in, and potentially you could say he's 7 choice, and then there's guys, you look at the wide areas where players are going to come in and others are going to be knocked down the pecking order, and there'll be players there who understand football, understand the change, and will want to play regularly. Especially guys who are younger and want to, maybe don't want to be bit part players, but there will be, that's be the balance of the squad. Like, not everyone will be or view themselves or be viewed as a starter every week. That's just not possible. There needs to be a real balance there. Guys who can come in and out and be trusted, guys who can push for a starting position. So it's a fine balance, and it's something that will be worked on over the next few weeks and next couple of months until the window closes. But it's been a good. I think it's been a positive start in terms of incomings, but I would say that there's still a lot more expected in terms of incomings and outgoings over the next few weeks as get ready for the start of the Premiership Sports Cup, which starts 3 weeks on Saturday, and then the Scottish Premiership, which is on the start of August, and the fixtures for the Scottish Premiership come out on Friday as well. So yeah, that's just thought I'd just do a quick update. Just because the transfer window's open, you can read more in depth on a lot of what I've said on Hearts Standard. I've put the article in this description. We'll be back with a special show tomorrow, provided recording goes ahead tonight as it should. Really looking forward to it. It's, Meg kind of alluded to it on an episode a couple of weeks, or last week, sorry, and yeah, it's an idea that I've shamelessly stolen from another publication, but yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into that and putting some content on the website as well off the back of that. And then there'll be hopefully another couple of shows later this week, including a live one with Craig and I, potentially Friday. Look to maybe answer your questions, those who listen live, who watch live, or those who might just send us a question on social media that we can answer, and if you listen to a podcast or it back at a later date, hopefully answer that, because I'm aware that we've not done too many lives recently, and they're always good to get you involved and get your engagement. Probably do it, like I said, Friday, because that's where we can talk about the fixture lists as well, and see who we start with, and obviously the derby games, etc. But be sure to check out everything on heartstandard.co.uk. You can subscribe to the website for £1 for 6 months, even if you've not done it yet, and maybe just thought I'll give it a shot. We'll see what these guys write about. I would encourage you to do so, and or you can get 12 months for, oh man, how much is that? 12 months for £12 maybe. That's going completely over my head, but yeah, there's a couple options to subscribe, and or a free option is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. But like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday, hopefully with another video. Thank you very much for listening, and speak to you again.